Hello, 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 and welcome back to day 2 of our summer body quest. Now, as I've said, this is not about it is about getting your beach body, but it's about getting your beach body not just physically, but mentally. I have found that when I can mentally feel good about myself and can change my self talk, it helps me to change my physical aspects. And that's an important point because I think so many of us, and I talked about this yesterday due to societal norms or our expectations or our comparatitis, we just never feel good as women generally about our body and about ourselves. And really, to me, the best way to start with a summer body is to feel good about who I am right in the minute, no matter what. I've come a long way physically myself. I have a long ways to go. And that doesn't stop me from feeling good about myself. So, today, what we're going to do yesterday was our introduction, and I think we all had hopefully a very good session as well as doing the homework. I'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comments if you did the homework, if you're going to do today's homework. It's really critical if you want to change you. So nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you just watch and you don't really do anything, nothing will change. But if you watch, you become engaged, you commit to yourself to be 100% in, because it's not committing to me, it's committing to yourself. To be 100% in and play fully out, you will have a changed body because you will have a changed mind at the end of these 21 days. So today, we're going to talk about journaling. I'm going to look at my notes a little bit, but we're going to talk about journaling. And the exercise that I want to talk to you about as we go deeper into this dive of what we like and don't like about our bodies is today we're going to journal on what we don't like about our bodies. And journaling is a really powerful tool because it really helps us to process our thoughts and emotions. And it helps us to write things out that we may miss if we just think about it. It also can show us some trends. It can show us some things that maybe we didn't put together or coalesce that otherwise we could possibly miss. So we're going to use the tool of journaling. And what I would, when you write, I'd like you to really on this to not think too much about it, because if you really get caught up in thought, a lot of times we miss things that are important. So when we just kind of free write, so often there's so much more that comes out that then if we stop, because our mind is going to try to filter it, to alter it, to make it nicer, to make it not so nice. There's a lot of things that our mind will do. So I really invite you and I encourage you to just free write. So I'm going to ask you to take 10 to 15 minutes today and just write out anything that you don't like about your body. It could be that you feel like you have fat fingers. It could be that you don't like your hair color. It could be anything. And why this is important, although it can bring up a lot of feelings and stuff, is it's important to look at what we're saying to ourselves and how we're talking to ourselves. So find a quiet spot, grab a pen and paper, and I'm going to give you some, when we confront also these feelings head on, we start to understand the roots of our insecurities. A lot of times we may not even realize why we feel that way or why we feel a particular way about something. But when you journal it, it really sometimes helps us to really look at that so we can understand where it's coming from, and therefore it's easier to get rid of. So here are some journaling prompts. What are some of the specific things you don't love about your body? And be as detailed as possible. My legs jiggle when I walk. I have trouble walking. I feel like I'm not graceful, whatever it may be for you. Why do you feel this way about these parts of your body? Try to trace back where maybe these thoughts came from. Like, I remember for myself, when I was a little girl, I always felt judged. Now, whether that's true or not, as I've gotten older, I realize that many of my thoughts, and it's scientifically proven that up to 50% of your memory is not correct. So that's what I thought, that people judged me and that they thought that I was fat. And therefore, that's how I always felt about myself. And I can remember a specific incident when I was a little girl. And the incident was when somebody said something to my mother. I was outside and they didn't know I was out there. And they said something to my mother about me. And I was hurt. I was really hurt and devastated. I mean, I probably was in, I would imagine, like second or third grade. And to me, it was very well, I didn't know the word at the time, condescending, but it was very hurtful to me. As I look back now through the lens of an adult, I realize that that little girl may have heard something that was not said in that vein. And so it was really insightful to me to kind of try to pinpoint that incident. And oftentimes we kind of know where something started. We may not know, but a lot of times we do. And then think about how these feelings affect your daily life and your overall sense of self worth. If you're always thinking about how you don't want to go to the beach, or you can't run with your children, or you can't get down on the ground with them, that really affects our quality of life, doesn't it? Maybe you feel like you don't walk very graceful, or you can't walk very far, so you don't go to places. You hide and you kind of keep yourself at bay from certain things because you don't want to get into a situation. Like, I know for a long time, I wouldn't go whenever we'd go to theme parks, especially with the grandchildren. I would, "Oh, I'll watch the baby. I'll sit here," because I was afraid that I would get up to the ride and I wouldn't fit. So that really limits my experiences, doesn't it? As I've lost as I've lost weight and I feel better in my body, some rides I still wouldn't go on because I don't enjoy that necessarily. But I think there are some rides, especially water rides, that I would go on now. And so think about how what in your daily life would change if you were to change how you feel about yourself. Not just to release weight, perhaps, or to have some non-functioning parts function. Absolutely, those could affect our quality of life, but even the quality of life based on how you feel about yourself. What would it look like in your life if you started to accept who you are, and you accepted these parts of your body that right now you don't really love? You don't love at all. You don't like, you don't love. And what steps can you take towards that self-love and acceptance? And I think that's part of what we're going to go through here, in these 21 days. And I think just writing it out and looking at it at first can be a start to that journey. And when you're done journaling, I want you to take a minute and reread it and reflect on it. Don't just write it and then shut the book and walk away. Really sit and think about how you think and how you feel. Notice your body. Are there some parts of your body that, even thinking about it, brings up sensations of pain, or anxiety, or cringe, or shame, or guilt? Shame and guilt are very much tied in to how we feel about our bodies. I think that's a huge underlying feeling that a lot of women have, is some type of shame or guilt. So, are there areas of your body that you've noticed when you went through this that feel different? We've disconnected from our body for so long. What I'm really trying to do here, and what I've done, is to really start to reconnect with my body. I mean, it's the place that's going to be with me. It's the only place that I have to live from now until the day that I pass away, which is going to be 20, 30 years. um, And give yourself enough credit, and give yourself credit also for being brave enough to do this. Pat yourself on the back. Come back here and write a note to us, or even message me. It's very brave of you to even be on this journey and to take the time to do this. So this is just one step to the journey, but it's really important. Keep practicing, keep being kind to yourself. When you've written out this list and you look at it, don't again shame yourself or guilt yourself. Just be happy that give yourself credit for really having the courage to do this, because it's a huge step. And remember, you're beautiful. You are beautiful and perfect the way you are. And never forget that. I know that you may not feel that way. But let's see what we can do to have you feel that way. So, just looking to make sure I've gotten all of my points in, and I believe that I have. So, with that, day 2, journaling what you don't love about your body. Free write. Take 10 to 15 minutes to do it today, if you can, in one setting. Give yourself credit for being brave to do it, and reflect on it. And look at the things that are true and the things that maybe aren't true. And even the things that are true are not necessarily true. It's just our perspective of it. So good luck with that. And I can't wait to see you on tomorrow's video.